So you are going to start with a 5 to 10 minute warm up on the treadmill to warm up the client's muscles. So we are going to move to exercise number 1, which will be a push-up. The movement involved in a push-up: start on hands and toes with hands slightly wider than shoulder width. Your body should form a straight line from head to heels. Your head and neck stay neutral. Align wrist under shoulders, fingers forward or slightly outward for stability. Descend. Inhale and slowly bend the elbows to about 45-degree angle from the body, not flared out 90-degree. Lower the chest towards the floor while maintaining a straight spine and tight core. Keep the elbows above or close to shoulder level as you descend. Avoid letting the chest sink unevenly or the hips sag. Bottom position: chest near floor or to a comfortable depth for your strength level. Scapula should be stable, not pinching. Avoid letting shoulders shrug towards the ear. Press up. Exhale as you push through your palms to extend the elbows. Return to the starting position with a controlled isometric pause. Muscles involved: primary movers, pectoralis major, triceps brachii, anterior deltoids. Stabilizers and secondary contributions: serratus anterior, pectoralis minor. Joint action: your shoulder joint, flexion and horizontal adduction during the push. Scapulothoracic protraction and stabilization. Elbow joint extension as you press back to the top. Wrist should feel comfortable and neutral. The supporting areas: spine and pelvis, keep a straight line and prevent the hips from sagging. We are going to move on to exercise number 2, which is squat. Keep a neutral spine. Brace the core. Bar pass over midfoot, knees tracking in the line with toes, and avoid bouncing at the bottom. This is when you decide to use a bar to do your squat. Squat to a depth that is comfortable and controlled for your mobility. Stop if you feel sharp knee, hip, or lower back pain. Use safety pins in a power rack for heavy back squats, or use a spotter as well if needed. Exhale through the hardest part of the lift, concentric, and brace before each descent. The movement: stand with feet hip to shoulder width apart. Weight spread evenly through the foot, especially midfoot and heels. Engage your core. Keep chest up, gaze forward or slightly downward. Muscles involved: primary muscles, quadriceps, glutes maximus, hamstrings, bicep femoris, semitendinosus, and semimembranosus. Secondary muscles: adductors, gastrocnemius soleus, and erector spinae. Joint actions: descend, your hips extension, knees flexion, ankles dorsiflexion, spine neutral to slightly flexed. Ascend, hips extension, knees flexion, and ankles dorsiflexion. We are going to move on to the third exercise, which is single leg Romanian deadlift. Start light, master balance and control before adding a load if you're using any equipment. Never round your back. You have to maintain a neutral spine throughout. the exercise. Movement, begin tall, arms relaxed. Inhale, brace your core. Initiate the hinge from the hips. Push the hips back while keeping a tiny knee bend in the stance leg. Let the torso tilt forward as the non-stance leg extends behind you. Stop when you feel a good hamstring stretch while still maintaining a neutral spine. Exhale as you stand up and tighten the glutes at the top to finish tall. Muscles involved, primary movers, glutes maximus, hamstrings, bicep femoris, semitendinosus, and semimembranosus. Secondary movers, glutes medius, adductors, spinal erectors, lower back, core muscles, transverse abdominis, and obliques. Joint actions, hip extension during ascent, hip flexion, hinge during descent. Your knee, slight flexion, maintained minimal movement. Ankle, stability through dorsiflexion, plantar flexion as your balance. Lumbar spine stays in a neutral position, minimal flexion or extension. Spotting areas, I would look at balance and alignment. Client must have a neutral spine, looking for rounding or excessive arching. Exercise adaptations, progression, stand closer to a wall or use a chair for support. Perform with 2 hands on the same weight handle. If you are using any equipment, progression option, pause at the bottom for at least 2 to 3 seconds to increase time under tension. Always make sure that you keep a good eye on the client so that the client can execute the exercise properly. We are going to move over to the 4th exercise, bend over row. Stand with feet hip width apart, knees slightly bent, hinge forward from the hips so your torso is about parallel to the floor. Keep your spine in a neutral position and your chest up. Muscles involved, primary muscles, latissimus dorsi, rhomboids, middle trapezius, and your secondary muscles, posterior deltoids, teres major, bicep brachialis, and erector spinae. Your core, abdominals, and obliques for bracing and spinal support. Joint action, your knee joint, slight flexion maintained, minimal motion. Your spine, neutral alignment, no hyperextension or rounding. Your elbow joint, flexion as you bring the bar towards your torso, and your wrist or forearm, neutral grip, wrist stay stacked under the bar. When it comes to spotting, generally bend over rows are performed with a spotter, but in heavy sets, a spotter can assist. Use a weight you can control with proper technique. Exercise adaptations, barbell bend over row, grip options, overhand pronated for broader rear chain. Engagement, underhand supinated can emphasize the lower lats and biceps a bit more. We are going to move to the last exercise, which will be a plank. Elbows under shoulders, forearms resting on the floor, toes on the floor, feet hip width apart. Maintain a straight line from head to heels. Do not raise your hips too high. Head and neck stay in a neutral position. Look a few inches in front of your hands. The muscles involved, your primary muscles, rectus abdominis, front core, transverse abdominis, obliques, rectus spinae, and glutes maximus. Secondary muscles, serratus anterior, shoulder stabilizers, rotator cuff to protect the joint. Quadriceps and calves help maintain leg extension. Joint action, spine, thoracic or lumbar, neutral alignment, minimal flexion or extension as you brace and hold. The elbows maintains extended in forearm plank, hips held in line with torso. Glutes and core controlled hip position, preventing sag or arch. The supporting areas, head and neck, keep a neutral line with spine, avoid tucking chin. Keep shoulder blades down and back. Don't let your spine arch and avoid letting your knees bend excessively. Exercise adaptation, regression, drop to knees while maintaining a straight spine from head to knees. Progression, hold for at least 30 to 60 seconds with a solid form.